Hi, my name is Allison Green, and the purpose of my speech is to help everyone understand the pros and the cons of standardized testing. Standardized tests are used throughout public schools across the country to help rank kids and put them in different levels of classes and everything like that. So to create your own opinion and mold your own opinion about standardized tests, you first need to know the pros and the cons, and then after that I'm going to finish off where we're going from here. So for the pros, my first point in the main part of standardized testing is that it measures student achievement. It measures student achievement by keeping the same exact test throughout the country. It keeps it on bubble sheets so that they could do it, they could grade it by machines instead of by teachers or people or like peers, so that it's non-biased in a way. The second one is subgroups. Subgroups are different. They look at it as different social classes, ethnicities, cultures, or special needs kids. They do this so that they could create separate programs and groups to help certain subgroups learn and help them do this instead of doing it individually. They could do it for one whole group instead. They also do subgroups so it's non-biased with the testing, with the grading, and everything like that. So the last is that it holds teachers and students accountable. So they will give teachers a certain thing that they need to go over for these tests, like a different way to teach it, or certain different sections that they need to go over the stuff that's going to be on this test. And they need to cover all this information so that the students can pass this test. And if they don't go over it, the students will not have any of the information that they need. So this kind of puts pressure on some of the teachers to help create more of a well-rounded student so that they can pass these tests more easily. And it also gives students more motivation to learn because they need to pass these tests. They'll feel more pressure. They'll feel like they need to do this more. After looking at some of the pros, we also need to look at the cons. Some of the cons that I have are like external factors. So if someone is a very anxious student, a very anxious test taker, they might be very nervous about taking a test. They might not do as well as someone who's not, even though they might just be just as smart. Also, if someone is having a bad day, or if someone from her school has a big deal of something going on at home or something else, so they could have a big fight with their parents that morning, and that's going to affect them later that day. They might not be focused on their test. Or if they're sick, normally you could go in late to school if you have a test that day, or go in the next day to make up this test, but you cannot make up these tests as easily, so they need to be there no matter what the conditions are for that one student. The second bullet I have for the cons is meaningful education. So this does not consider creativity, empathy of a student, caring, anything like that. It's just strictly academic. So just because someone fails an academic part of this test, that does not mean that they are less of a person, but some students do take it that way. They'll take it as it demeans them. It might harm their sense of self. So all the pressure on these tests, it kind of hurts the student a little bit. Another thing is a negative impact. Not only is the student under pressure by these tests, but so is the school system and the teachers. If the school system doesn't pass these tests, the state might take over. If the teachers don't go through all the requirements and the students fail, these teachers may get fired and then get replaced with someone who will do their job, or how the state wants them to do it better. Even if they're an amazing teacher, just because they don't hit every single requirement that they need to hit, that it does not really matter to the state at all. And for the last thing, where are we going from here? It's a law for students to take these tests. So throughout the country, the students have to take them. They don't really have a choice no matter what, and that's not going to be changing anytime soon. Another thing is with the teaching. The teachers all get Common Core, so that means they do get a full set of rules where they have to follow them. They have to strictly follow them to create a well-rounded student, and that puts a part on them for their. It puts some pressure on them that their students need to pass these tests, or else they could get fired, they could get paid less, etc. And Ohio is working with 23 other states right now to create the PART test. The PART test helps students prepare for these standardized tests, and they also are taking out midterms and finals for these. So that could also affect how a children's grade was at like one semester, and it's different one semester because the weights are different with the midterms and finals. In conclusion, I hope everyone is now more familiar with standardized tests and everyone understands the pros and the cons and sees where we're going from here. I hope that I helped everyone mold their decision, whether it's a pro or a con to them, their opinions on standardized tests. I hope I helped everyone learn more than they had before about them. And the children that we are educating now are going to be the faces of our society and in our future. So I hope everyone keeps that in mind, whether it's the state, the government, teachers, parents, when they're sending their kids to public or private schools. So thank you.